friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology. Today's topic is when Mars burns in Scorpio, that is, Mars becomes combust from 1st November 2025 to 2nd May 2026. What is going to be the impact on the world and on all the ascendants? We will look at this in depth in this video. So first of all, let us understand what exactly is meant by a combust planet or an asta graha. So in short, Mars is now going to come very close to the Sun and it is going to become combust, or it is also known as asta mangal. So what does that mean? Now, suppose in your workplace you have to do some work for the CEO. You are a director and you have to do some work for the CEO. So what happens is your other tasks, your main tasks which you do on a day-to-day basis, those can go for a toss because the king or the CEO has prioritized some other tasks for you. And therefore, the significations of your day-to-day work suffer in that time period. You can think of a combust planet as a planet on special duty for the king. And when a planet is on special duty, its natural significations suffer in that time period because it has to focus on that special work which is given to it. Similarly, in Vedic astrology, the Sun is the king of all the planets. So whenever any planet goes very close to the Sun, its natural significations suffer. Now, in the case of Mars, Mars is considered as combust when it is 8 degrees before the Sun or 8 degrees after the Sun. So, approximately a span of 16 degrees, 8 degrees on one side of the Sun, 8 degrees on the other side of the Sun. When Mars is in that range, it is considered as combust. So, a combust planet is going to lose its calm, direction and balance when it comes too close to the Sun, and its natural significations will suffer in that time period. This is because the Sun is a hot source of light and it represents power, authority, ego, all of these things. And when any other planet goes too close to the Sun, it is not going to be able to focus on its natural significations. Imagine that you are standing in front of an extremely hot source of light. Because of the heat, you start sweating and you really cannot focus on the natural work that you are doing on a day-to-day basis. So now from 1st November 2025, Mars, which is the planet of war, energy, aggression and defense, that is going to become combust in the sign of Scorpio. So you can see Mars in the purple square with Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, and you can see that the Sun is in Libra. So now Mars is within 8 degrees of the Sun, it is very close to the Sun and therefore it is combust. Now remember, Scorpio is a watery sign, and when the warrior Mars loses its balance in its own territory, the world is going to enter a phase of intense transformation because Scorpio is the sign of transformation and Mars represents fire, passion and power struggles in the sign of Scorpio. So when Mars comes too close to the Sun, its fiery energy gets diluted or blinded. Now what does Mars represent? It represents soldiers, it represents armies, weapons, engineering, discipline, the vitality in your body, all that is represented by Mars. Mars also represents accidents, surgeries, the blood in your body. It also represents your lineage, it represents property. So all of these things, Mars is now not able to focus properly. He is on special duty. The Sun represents our ego, it represents people in power, rulers and authority. Whereas Mars represents aggression. So when the ego of rulers and the aggression of armies come together, what is going to happen? It is going to create a volatile leadership. It can lead to sudden conflicts and it can give overconfidence to the rulers in power. So, this is not a peaceful combination. It can bring impulsive decisions by nations, military confrontations. On the positive side, it can bring technological breakthroughs in weapons, space, and defense technology. Now, where is this combination happening? It is happening in the sign of Scorpio. That is, Mars is becoming combust in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio or Vrishik is the natural eighth house of the zodiac belt, and it is a secretive, deep, transformative sign. Scorpio represents water beneath the surface of the earth, which is still, which is not moving. Example, well water. Scorpio represents hidden things, secrets. So now put Mars and Sun here, and Mars is combust. What is going to happen? Events will unfold from behind the curtain. So you could see events such as increase in espionage, cyber wars, political assassinations, and covert operations in this time period. During this phase, global instability, natural disasters, volcanic or seismic activity may increase, especially near the Scorpio water regions, such as the Indian Ocean, Mediterranean, and Persian Gulf. Now, when Mars is becoming combust in Scorpio, note that Saturn is in Pisces, which is a watery sign. Rahu is in Aquarius, which is an air sign. And therefore, this forms a tense triad, that is, water, fire, and air elements collide together. Mars is a fiery planet. So, what is going to happen is the world is going to enter a karmic balancing phase. Now, let us analyze the impact of this combustion on different countries. So, let us begin with India. India has a Taurus ascendant, and in India's natal chart, Mars rules the 7th house of partnerships and the 12th house of losses, foreign elements, isolation, expenses, and Mars is becoming combust in the 7th house of Scorpio. Now, this is the house of partnership. So, for a country, it shows the house of foreign relationships and diplomacy. So, expect heightened border tensions, military modernization, and lot of internal reforms in the defense policy. Our relations, that is India's relationships with its foreign partners, can go for a toss in this time period. There could be betrayal, there could be backstabbing for India in this time period. Mars is a planet of war. India is also running the Mars Mahadasha right now. So, when Mars is combust, you can expect heightened border tensions, military conflicts with the neighboring countries like Pakistan or China. Political aggression and leadership ego clashes can increase in this time period. On the positive side, India will advance in defense sector, in aerospace sector, and in the energy sector. So here India will see a positive growth. But as far as conflicts with its neighbors, border tensions, disputes, Sindoor Operation Part 2, all that is possible now when Mars becomes combust. Now let us look at the impact on Pakistan. For Pakistan, Mars is the ascendant lord in Pakistan's chart. And Mars is becoming combust in the 8th house in Pakistan's chart. 8th house is the house of fear. It is the house of transformation, death, accidents. So when Mars becomes combust in the 8th house, it can cause internal military discord, leadership instability, and covert operations. So there might be terror related events in Pakistan or military reshuffles. Pakistan could also suffer from attacks by its neighbors in this time period, and Pakistan itself could plan covert operations against countries like India in this time period and cause terrorism in India. Now let us analyze the impact on China. In China's chart, Mars becomes combust in the 11th house. 11th house is the house of gains, it is the house of network of friends, and since it is Scorpio, it shows secrets, hidden things. So here China can bring secret military expansion, it can do naval exercises because Scorpio is a watery sign. Pisces is also a watery sign where you have Saturn, and this can increase tension with the Western nations and with Taiwan. However, internal economic reforms may accelerate under pressure in China. Now, what is the impact on United States of America? It has a Sagittarius ascendant. So Scorpio corresponds to the 12th house. Mars is combust in the 12th house of losses, expenses, hidden international involvements are seen by the United States of America. It could also experience covert cyber attacks, and United States of America may advance its nuclear proliferation and space operations in this time period. So its military will innovate a lot in this time period. But because this is happening in the 12th house, it shows tremendous inflation, economic volatility, and lot of problems in the United States. So, like I said earlier, people may not be able to pay their daily bills, their house bills, etc., and a recession will come in the United States. Also, the internal division between the political parties and people protesting will increase in the United States. Trump may face a very tough time in this time period because Trump also has a Scorpio moon. So, this is going to be a tough time for Trump as well. There could be assassination attempts on President Trump, and there could be secret movements to get rid of him in this time period or somehow to bring him down from his position in this time period. So, Trump has to be very careful now. Now, let us move to Iran. In the case of Iran, this combustion in the sign of Scorpio shows religious extremism, militant energy, and oil related problems or crisis coming up. So, possible confrontation, or it can get involved in a proxy conflict with Israel and other neighboring nations. Now, for UK or United Kingdom, Scorpio activates the 4th house. 4th house shows the domestic affairs, it shows homeland security, it shows your national sentiment. So, Mars combust here may result in lot of protests, worker unrest, and public anger against the leadership in UK. Now, at a general level, for all humans, what is going to happen? Mars is combust. Mars represents anger. Mars represents our passion. Mars represents the blood circulating in our body. And in the sign of Scorpio, it shows hidden things. So here, putting a hot planet like Mars in Scorpio, that can result in your suppressed emotions suddenly bursting out. People may feel extreme burnout, there may be extreme impatience, anxiety, especially in matters related to career, sexuality, and authority. Now, Scorpio also represents accidents. Mars represents fires, weapons, military actions. So, fire related accidents, military actions, and health issues related to the blood, such as blood pressure and inflammation, can in general rise in the society in this time period. But spiritually, Scorpio combustion of Mars is a purification by fire. So, it is a time where you will break your old shells of fear, ego, and control. Now, Mars's energy has to be channeled properly. So, you should actually channel this intense energy of Mars through discipline, yoga, meditation, and practice lot of self-control in this time period. Now, quickly let us see the impact of this on every ascendant. So, for the Aries ascendant or the Mesh Lagna, Mars is now in your 8th house and becoming combust there. So, it shows lot of inner transformation. You will have to confront your fears, and you should avoid ego clashes in this time period. Take care of your health. Your 8th house has extremely hot planets now. 8th house represents the rectum, and therefore diseases such as piles, etc., can bother you in this time period. So, on the health front, you have to be careful. Even be careful from fire related accidents in this time period. When you are dealing with fire, electrical equipment, be careful. For the Taurus ascendant or Vrushab Lagna, this is happening in your 7th house of relationships. That is, Mars is becoming combust here. So, hidden emotions in your partnerships, in your relationships, in your business affairs can come out in this time period. You may experience an emotional burst and lot of stress in partnerships in this time period. You need to be a bit diplomatic, have a lot of patience in this time period. Hidden enemies can also bother you in this time period. Now, for the Gemini ascendant or Mithun Lagna, this combination is happening in your 6th house in the sign of Scorpio. 6th house is the house of competition, diseases, debts. So, planets like Mars and Sun here, they help you to overcome any competition, any problems. But you will also have to face those challenges first. The only issue I see here is in your workplace, because these are hot planets in your 6th house, you could become very angry. You could become very impulsive in your response. So it could create some conflicts there. And secondly, you may overwork, you may exert yourself a lot. So that can put a lot of stress on you. So be careful not to overwork in this time, and be careful about your speech in this time period, especially with senior authorities. Now, for the Cancer ascendant or Kark Lagna, this combination is happening in the 5th house, which shows your love life, which shows your creativity, which shows your children. So, now when Mars is combust here, these areas are going to suffer a bit. That is, you may not be able to focus much on your love life. Your creativity may not be that good in this time period, and you need to manage your emotional impulse in this time period. Children's health you need to take care of in this time period. So on the romantic front, you need to be a bit careful in this time period. Also try and avoid impulsive investments in this time period. For the Leo ascendant or Siva Lagna, this combination of combustion of Mars is happening in your 4th house in the sign of Scorpio. So on the home front, you will see some major transformation, domestic tensions, property related disputes, problems related to real estate, health of mother. All these things can become challenges for you in this time period. Also, when you are driving a vehicle, be a bit careful, because you might get very angry and get into incidents such as road rage. So be careful in this time period when you are driving your vehicle. For the Virgo ascendant or Kanya Lagna, this is happening in your 3rd house. So you should be careful in the areas of communication, relationship with siblings, and especially when you go on short distance travels. Try and avoid harsh speech with your neighbors, siblings, uncles, aunts in this time period. So communication is the area where you need to be focused on, and be careful when you speak in this time period. For the Libra ascendant or Tula Lagna, this combination happens in your 2nd house in the sign of Scorpio, which is the sign of transformation. 2nd house is your wealth and family life. So here you will see some financial ups and downs, and you will have to manage your expenses and anger in this time period. That is very important. Now for the Scorpio ascendant or the Vrishik Lagna, Mars is in the 1st house in the sign of Scorpio. He is also your 6th lord. So it shows lot of transformation in your own personality. You will become very strong in this time period. You will feel very bold, very active in this time period. But you must control your ego in this time period. Mars being the 6th lord in the 1st house, it can make you extremely active in this time period. You need to take care of your health and not overexert yourself. Hidden enemies may try to bother you in this time period. Certain disputes related to property can bother you in this time period. Issues with siblings can suddenly come up in this time period. These are the areas where you need to be careful. For the Sagittarius ascendant or Dhanu Lagna, this combination is happening in the 12th house. So 12th house can show hidden enemies. You have to protect yourself from burnout, and you need to channel Mars's energy through meditation. Meditate a lot in this time period. Expenses may suddenly increase in this time period. So you have to be very patient. You have to be careful with money in this time period. Now for the Capricorn ascendant or Makar Lagna, this combustion is happening in the 11th house. 11th house shows your gains, network of friends, and it shows chronic diseases. So if you had any past disease, it can suddenly come back, and you could face certain turbulence with your friends or your social network circle in this time period. For the Aquarius ascendant or Kumbh Lagna, this combustion is happening in the 10th house. So it shows some major transformation happening in your career, in your role, and you could face certain power struggles in this time period in your workplace. Now for the Pisces ascendant or Meen Lagna, this combustion is happening in the 9th house. And 9th house shows long distance travels. It shows philosophical awakening. Only thing where you need to be careful is in your interaction with your gurus, with your bosses in this time period. Also, when you are going on long distance journeys, be careful as there could be fire related incidents that can affect you. And try to avoid taking any legal risk in this time period. Do not get into unnecessary court cases or legal disputes in this time period. Try to avoid it as much as possible. Now, what are the remedies when Mars becomes combust? You need to channel the energy of Mars into productive activities such as exercise, sports, yoga, and meditation. That is the first thing. So, that energy, that repressed energy of Mars gets an outlet. The next remedy which you can do is chant the Hanuman Chalisa daily evening. Offer red flowers to the Hanuman idol or Kartikeya idol on Tuesdays and pray to it. Practice pranayam daily, and because these are hot planets, it can increase the pitta content or the heat in your body. So try to have cooling foods, try to have more antioxidants in this time period to balance the pith or the heat in your body. On Tuesdays, donate blood. You can also donate jaggery sweets to your siblings, to your neighbors in this time period on a Tuesday. That will make your Mars better. So friends, I'll conclude this video here. If you want to reach out to us, you can always email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com. To know more about us, visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. If you have not subscribed to our channel, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button now. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe. I will see you soon with another video. Till then, bye. Take care.